Can you confirm that you can see me as well as hear me?
Yes, I can. We can.
Okay.
Yes, we
can see you and we can hear you, sir.
Okay, thank you very much. Let me try and share my screen. Okay. So can you see my screen?
Yes, sir.
All right. Okay. So once again, we are welcome to this masterclass, and I will just be facilitating, and it's going to be a very, very interactive class, and we're going to be looking at building products the Agile way. I'm sure most of us are familiar with the word Agile or agility, and these are some of the things we'll be looking at today. First of all, we'll be introducing ourselves, and we'll also look at the theory and first principles, look at Agile implementations, and look at product delivery with Scrum, people and teams, and so round it up. So because this class is going to be interactive, I prepared a Google Jamboard. If you look at the chat box, I don't know if we can access the Google Jamboard. Can you just, can any of you access this Google Jamboard you see on the screen? Hello, guys.
I have accessed it.
You can access it. Can everyone access it?
Yes,
So,
I can.
yeah. So I want us to introduce ourselves. Yeah, I want us to introduce ourselves using the Google Jamboard. If you are not familiar with it, it's very simple to use. You just create a sticky note. You go to this left-hand corner here. So I want us to introduce ourselves using our, this is how I want us to do it. Go to the Jamboard and paste using the first letter of your first name to qualify or justify your first name. So for example, I have an example here. I wrote authentic Adedayo. I'm sure you can see it on the Google Jamboard. Sorry, let me just. Okay, so can we introduce ourselves using the Google Jamboard? This is where you go. You just create it. So like I said, authentic Adedayo, and you save. So can we do it? Hope you can hear me, please.
Yes, we can.
Okay, so let's introduce ourselves doing that. Hello, I'm not seeing anybody using the Google Jamboard.
It is on edit mode. It's on view only mode, unless you give us.
Okay. I don't know why. Sorry, why? Okay. Oh, sorry about that. Okay, I think should be able to do now. Yeah, permission granted. Yes. Okay. So can we go ahead? I think it's on edit mode now.
Yes, anybody with the link now can access it.
Yeah, yeah. I want to see us doing it because we'll be using this Google Jamboard as we go ahead for other things as well. So can you just introduce yourself using the Google Jamboard? Or is anyone having difficulty in using it? Please let me know. Hello? Okay, yeah. Yeah. Thank you very much, guys. Yes, I can see authentic Oluwafemi. Yeah. Original Shegun. Okay. Talented Temidayo. Okay. So thank you very much. So we go over to Temidayo. Can you please help me with these strokes I can see on the screen? I don't know why it's there.
Okay, I'll do that. You can just continue out.
Okay, all right, okay. So, okay, I guess Temidayo have done this introduction, so we can go ahead. So, like I said, we'll be looking at building products the Agile way. Now, Mike Twain says a person with a new idea is a crank until the idea succeeds. So we want to start by looking at some principles around product management and some of the complexities that we may encounter. Now, I have a exercise I want us to quickly do. Like I said, this class is going to be interactive. I see myself as just a facilitator. So guys, please ready to participate. Now, this is a teaser here. 2 weeks before your new role starts, you are the company for some administrative matters. You take the occasion to go meet the team. After some general conversations, hesitantly, the team tells you about the terrible temperature in their team room. The team wants a constant 20 degrees centigrade, but that is never achieved. It is hugely distracting to the team. The problem is the outdated climate regulation system. Bob from the Central Building Services needs to program the heating, air conditioning, venting, and blinds for a working day up front. No adjustments are possible. So you work with the team, assemble a list of the variables that can influence the room temperature. For example, the number of people. So what other variables can be taken into account? So we can go to the Google Jamboard again, and then I want us to begin to place those variables, looking at the room temperature. Why is the room becoming so distracting? Can you list some, can we list some variables? So guys, I want to see you on the Google Jamboard again. What other factors do you think are there? Hello? You can also talk, please. Tim, I believe everybody is can be unmuted to talk.
Yes, if you have any comment or anything, just unmute
Yeah.
the mic.
You can also post it here too. So I hope we understand what I just said. Let's look at things that can influence the room temperature. The team is complaining about the temperature in their room, and they want a constant 20 degrees, but it's never achieved. So what are some of these variables?
All right. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning, yeah.
All right. I would say from looking at the room, the AC would work. The AC would work and give us a 20 degrees centigrade temperature. For the heater would work and would give us a regulated temperature. But we have humans in the building. And then looking at it, the body temperature of each individual differs. While on AC, we could have people that would be feeling cold under 2 minutes. They are already cold and they can no longer take the temperature. Whereas you still have some people in the same room that is cold for the other person. They would say they are still hot, that they want the temperature of the AC to go lower. So the number one variable I would say, because the AC would definitely work constantly and give out a regulated temperature. The heater would give out a regulated temperature, but the human body, in course of trying to adapt to the temperature of the room, would not give would vary in temperature. I've forgotten what it's called in biology though. The body will try to regulate itself, thereby producing more heat. So definitely when the body begins to produce more heat, and if we have more people in the building, definitely there is no way the temperature would remain at 20 degrees. So that's my take on it. So the number one variable is the number of persons in the building or in the room and their reaction to the temperature. So that's my take on it.
Okay. Thank you very much. Any other person? Any other person, please? Yeah, I can see someone say ventilation system. Direct sun, since there are no blinds, okay? All right. So I guess we are getting the whole so that and being that is a complex, there are some sample number of people in the room, about person, the weather, okay. So let's also list some various factors that can also development. So can we list some factors also? Because it's also a complex situation. Anyone want to help us again? Come on, guys. I know we are just used to, most of us are used to somebody just pouring everything. But, you know, I believe one of the best ways in things like this is for us to look at things together and then begin to build some principles going forward in order to aid our understanding. So what are some of the variables we can also consider looking at the work and especially looking at projects around software development in this situation? Can we mention some? Okay, let me move on. Since it's like you guys so when we look, we can begin to consider some factors like we look at the people, the skills availability, and ties, the requirements, the technology, the stakeholders, the regulations, legislation, budgets, timelines, processes and governance, tools, interfaces, infrastructure, market, and competition. So you can see here again that it's a complex situation. When we think of product development, especially as it regards software development, like Temidayo was saying at the beginning, that we want products that are relevant in today's world. We want products that can be deployed faster into the market. So there are a lot of things we have to consider. We have to look at the technology. We have to look at timelines. We have to look at processes and governance. We have to look at, for instance, especially in our continent, in Africa and countries like Nigeria, you know, at times we are too concerned about hierarchy. We are too concerned about control, you know. So these are things that one should factor in, and that's why it is complex. So you can begin to see that product management, you know, tends to be appropriate for complex situations. So looking at the case study we're talking about earlier, there's a simple solution to that particular room temperature. So those variables can easily be ignored by using an empirical process via the thermostat. So with the thermostat, we can inspect the real room temperature at the right frequency, and we can adapt the systems that drive the temperature heating and air cooling from a common agreement. Then transparency is also needed to make sure the real temperature is inspected. So this is definitely the foundation of agility. You know, we are looking at, you know, using an empirical process. And when we say something is empirical, it means we have to experiment, we have to observe, we have to learn, you know, we have to look at the environment and see how we can adapt. You know, in our observation, we are inspecting, you know, and then after we have inspected, we have observed, we have learned, then we can now adapt and respond to change. Then, of course, transparency is needed. You know, transparency is needed. It has to be clear to everybody. There must be visibility that this is the way forward. So this is actually the foundation of agility, you know, using an empirical process to solve problems. Hello, guys. Are you still with me? Can you hear me, please? Just confirm you can hear me.
We are good. We are good.
Yeah. So do we understand what I'm trying to drive at? Yeah. Or does anybody have an observation you want to say concerning what we just looked at, concerning that case study of the room temperature? Do we agree that using a thermostat can solve that problem? Are we in agreement with that?
Yeah, yes, sir. It would, sir.
Okay. So thank you very much. We can go on. So the right process for the right problem. The right process for the right problem is either we are predictive or we are empirical. When we are predictive, it means work and outcomes are understood before execution. It means we are given a well-defined set of inputs. The same output are generated every time. And we are trying to follow predetermined steps to get known results. For example, an assembly line or a construction or accounting is predictive because work and outcomes are understood before execution. We already know where we are going. You know, we are already given a well-defined set of inputs. And this is where the traditional project management comes into play. You know, because you have the 4 stages of project management. You have the initiation, you have the planning, and you have the execution, and then closing. In other words, you are predicting. You are being predictive. You are trying to understand the work and the outcomes before you execute. But when we look at the empirical approach, we talk about frequent inspection and adaptation. You know, frequent inspection and adaptation as work occurs. We can all see what COVID has brought upon all of us since 2020. We can see how we all needed to adapt. It has made everyone to respond of doing things. So processes are accepted as out unpredictable. Predict. Nobody saw who coming. Nobody, creative writing and so on. That's why you can see a product that was selling fast 10 years ago. All of a sudden, they are no longer in the market. Why? Because things have changed. You know, things have changed. They never saw it coming. You know, so these are the days. For instance, people can ignore watching TV now and just there is enough content online that can make people to ignore watching live TV any longer. So this is what we are talking about, the right process for the right problem. And the empirical process is the foundation for business agility. So this is the complexity of product development. You know, there are different levels and of complexity. You know, we have simple, where everything is known, close to certainty. Then complicated, more is known than unknown. Then you have chaotic, very little is known when there's chaos. Who can give me an example of a chaotic situation? COVID, thank you very much. And you can now begin to, we can relate it to management style. So when you have a chaotic situation, the characteristics of a chaotic situation is high turbulence, no clear cause and effect. In fact, that's why till now, nobody knows the solution to COVID. You know, we are trying to just come with a vaccine that can, even the vaccine cannot cure COVID. It can only make someone to be asymptomatic. So there's no clear cause and effect, unknowables, many decisions and no time. You have to take a decision. You know, a good example of a chaotic situation that comes to my mind again is a plane crash. That's a chaotic situation. And what do you need to do? I mean, what will a leader need to do in a chaotic situation? Immediate action. You have to bring order. You have to prioritize work. You have to act, sense, respond. So just like COVID that one of us has mentioned, that was the reason why governments all over the world started coming up with shutdown, started coming up with all sorts of, measures that you cannot think of, because there was need for an immediate action to bring order, to prioritize work, to act, sense, and respond. But when you look at complex, and that's where we want to focus on, in a complex situation, there is more unpredictability than predictability. Emergent answers, more competing ideas. And what do leaders need to do? They have to create bounded environments for action, increase levels of interaction and communication. Servant leadership, probe, sense, respond. For example, the manufacture process of the vaccine, I mean, with the complex situation, they just need to come up with what they can come up with, increase levels of interaction, communication, probe, sense, respond. Then, of course, complicated situation, there's more predictability than unpredictability, fact-based management. So in construction, you can easily predict. That's why you have an architect who would have come up with the drawings and all that. So there's more predictability. It's based on facts. So you can use experts to gain insight, use metrics to gain control, command and control. Then simple, repeating patterns, something that is always in a repeating pattern, consistent events, clear. Use best practices, extensive communication, not necessary. So when it comes to business agility, the complex situations, tend to agility, being agile can help us to handle complex situations. So empirical processes will require trust and courage. It will require a lot of trust and courage. We can see how there is so much issues surrounding the vaccine as regards trust. So trust and courage is needed. Someone needs to, we need to be able to trust people. We need to also be able to have courage to challenge the status quo. Of course, transparency is needed, visibility is needed, inspection, and of course, adaptation. Inspection refers to we learning from the situation, we observing the situation. So this now brings us to the definition of agility, or when we say agile. So what's the definition of agility or being agile? It's the ability to rapidly and deliberately respond to changing demand while controlling risk. For example, like 10 years ago, BlackBerry was the, I mean, if you don't have a BlackBerry, it's as if you are not living in this world. But all of a sudden, where is BlackBerry now? Why? Because smartphones, when the smartphones came around, people saw that the smartphone could do a lot of things, far more than what BlackBerry devices could do. With my smartphone, I can check my email. I don't need to go to my laptop and begin to log into my email or open my laptop. From my phone, I can respond to an email. I can even attach documents. A lot of the softwares I can use on my laptop device or on a desktop, I can also use on a smartphone. And that was the reason why the smartphone took away BlackBerry. So flexibility, capacity, and the capability of rapidly and efficiently adapting, the ability to innovate. Like Adedayo was saying at the beginning, these days we want products that will give us that flexibility, that flexibility. You can see what people are beginning to see the advantages, more advantages than disadvantages of remote working. That remote working can solve the problem of unnecessary stress of commuting. Now, before COVID, if there's a meeting in Abuja, everybody is traveling to the airport, everybody is going by road to have a meeting in Abuja or to have a meeting somewhere to travel. Now, we can see that from our rooms, from the corner of our room, in our bedroom or sitting room, we can have meetings, very fruitful meetings. Like what we are doing now, we are all in the comfort of our rooms. Some of us may even be in our cars, and we are in these sessions. So that flexibility, the capacity and capability of rapidly and efficiently adapting, the ability to innovate, we can come up with innovative products, innovative products that people. We all know the restrictions CBN is placing, in terms of forest transaction. Gone are the days you can easily use your Naira Mastercard now to make some transactions online. You have to maybe get a dollar card. Recently, I think last week or so, some guys will come up with an innovation where if you see, that's what we are talking about. The ability to respond while controlling risk. Is this clear? I would like to have some feedback, please. Hello, guys.
As for me, it's clear.
Yeah. So what do you think about this? Does it make sense?
It makes a lot of sense, because that change has to be made, because current we're having all these meetings online. Like now, I'm in Kenya, and we are able to communicate. That means the change demand has been met.
Exactly.
And controlling the risk they're trying to bring into the system, the vaccine. So that is just trying to control the risk, though we really don't know how it is going to go, but they're trying to control it.
Exactly. I know it's so funny, just like you've said, normally governments all over the world, especially in Africa, when it comes to responding to change, they are so, apart from being slow, they resist it. I mean, here in Nigeria, it was so interesting when the COVID-19 broke out, government started having daily updates, daily press briefing to let people know, for people to be aware. And I said, wow, this is agility, because once you are able to give people that update, in other words, you are inspecting and you are also adapting. And you can see governments also now, government in Africa can resist technology to some extent. But you see government now using technology. You see government meetings now being online, using Zoom and all that. Some years ago, I used to work in a particular industry, so I deal with a lot of government agencies. Then they used to say they don't recognize any official letter by mail, that the letter must come in physically. So when you send mail to them, they'll say they don't recognize it. Few years down the line, the same government that said they don't recognize official letter by mail, they start sending letters by mail themselves. So it shows how these things are. There will be that demand, to respond to change. So let's move on. So what are the many reasons to pursue agility? You need to improve relationship with customers. regaining trust. You need to improve relationship with customers. You know, customers are the ones that keeps you in business. If you are building products for customers, so you need and these are the days when you are even building products. Gone are the days that you want to build a product without customers' input. Customers want to be involved in the process of building products. So there is need for improved relationship with customers, regaining trust, flexibility, improved productivity and quality, taking advantage of opportunities. Whether we like it or not, the COVID-19 pandemic brought a lot of opportunities. Now it is easier to start a business online. You don't need to go rent a shop. You don't need to go rent a building to start a business right now. So that's an opportunity, because some people will say the reason why I have not started my business is because I'm looking for a space. You don't need a space to start a business right now, especially depending on the kind of, especially if it's a business that I mean, gone are the days that, for instance, if you are a fashion designer, you need to have a shop. No, you can be doing it in your house and be cycle. Easier to make changes, elimination of waste, lean products that reach market faster and are more targeted. You know, the reason why a lot of people are against the vaccine is that, oh, it was done in a hurry. Normally, vaccines should take between 5 to 10 years, but people fail to realize that, you know, the reason why vaccines before we take 5 to 10 years is because of a lot of bureaucratic bottlenecks. But because of the pandemic, all those bureaucratic bottlenecks have to be eradicated in order for the vaccines to reach market faster. So increase return on investment, engaged, empowered workers, reduce total cost of ownership. So guys, I want us to quickly do an exercise, and please, I need your cooperation here. The exercise is this: you are a student working your way through college. You work at Burger Kitchen, any minimum wage. You are on the 2 p.m. to 11 p.m. shift and the only person on duty. You are cleaning up at 10:30 p.m. when a customer approaches and orders a double Burger Kitchen deluxe with onions, cheese, and bacon, and an order of fries. You ring up the order. The price is let's say 6 euros. The customer informs you that he only has 1.2 euros. Burger Kitchen is high quality. Everything is cooked from scratch. There's no pre-cooked food you were planning on throwing out. Burger Kitchen uses strict inventory control. Anything you take to give to the customer will be charged to your paycheck. The clerk has not entered the order. What do you do? What do you tell the customer? Can we go to the Jamboard to do this? So what do we think, guys? The price is 6 euros. The customer informs you he has only 1.2 euros. What do you tell the customer? Hello?
Please go back. Has he ordered yet? Have you ordered for the food to be made yet?
This is it. Yes, the order has been made and the price is 6 euros. The customer informs you he has only 1.2 euros. And anything you give to the customer will be charged to your paycheck. Okay, the clerk has not yet entered the order. Yes, the order has been, but the clerk has not yet entered the order. So what do you do? What do you tell the customer? Do we understand? You can ask questions, please. Hello, guys. Just say what you know. Yeah.
Okay, there are two issues here.
Yeah.
The organization you're working for
Hmm.
have their policies.
Yeah.
The customer has come in and asked for something that he cannot afford.
Mm-hmm.
You have placed for the order, but as you've said, it has actually not been fixed or something. So I would think it would be good to give the customer another alternative.
Okay. Yeah.
You being in a position whereby you're on minimum wage, you also have your needs. So I think you should try and explain to the customer that this can't fit this, but with this, you can get this.
Okay. So let me take you there. So what do you call that? What is needed for you to be able to do this and tell the customer? It's something we have mentioned for you to do this.
You're controlling your risks. Yeah. And
there's a word when we're talking about the empirical process, that something is needed for the empirical process approach.
Hello.
Hello. Yeah.
Yeah. My name is Rotimi.
Yeah.
I think what you are trying to do with what the last speaker said is you are trying to adapt what the customer have to what your offerings are. You understand, sir?
But something is needed. Something is needed to adapt. Something is needed. Okay, let me help you guys. Courage. Courage. Does it make sense now? Yes.
Okay, you need to shed light on that.
Okay.
Yeah, because I was thinking I'd have told the guy,
You would have what?
I'd have told the guy, I mean, if we had cooked and he's saying he only has a fraction of what also have been paid. I mean, nothing near average, in fact. And there's a strict policy of not throwing out what is cooked, knowing that everything has to be cooked from scratch, and there's a price placed on it, and it's going to be charged to my own paycheck. I mean, the only scenario where I find myself selling it to the person is if throwing it away, I'll be charged for it. So rather than losing out on the entire money, I think I'll just make do with the one that he has to offer, and I'll just take it as my loss. But then it just teaches me a lesson to be more careful next time to ensure that whoever is coming in is well informed about the pricing before we embark on the cooking.
Okay, but for you to even tell the cost, okay, that's another approach. So you are ready to bear the loss. But
Yeah.
I mean, you are a student. How can you bear that kind of loss? Because I mean, how will you cope with your studies? So,
I mean, okay.
so and remember, the clerk has not yet entered the order. So why do you want to bear the loss?
Okay, the clerk has not entered the order
He
yet.
has not entered the order. You
Okay,
have
so
bring up the
cooking
order.
has not begun.
Exactly.
Okay, then I'll just tell him a no. There's
And
no big deal
so,
there.
yeah. So but you need something to say no. What do you need?
Okay, I would like
obviously.
to fit in again.
Yeah.
With my speaker, he's actually agreed with what I've said. At the end of the day, you also need to be paid.
Yes.
And when you need to be paid, this is a point where you're offering a product, and the product has to be sold.
Yes.
So with selling things is how you will be paid. So if you say no, I think if that continues for a while, we will not get paid.
Okay. So let me help you guys here. I think this is what can be done. Since the order has not been entered, then the order can be scaled down. Since the guy has only 1.2 euros, can scale down that order, can scale it down. So, but courage is needed. Courage is needed to be able to tell the customer that, look, this is the situation. So what I'm just trying to bring out here is that when it comes to agility, and we are looking at the empirical approach to solve complex problems, trust is needed. So you need to tell the customer that because since the order has not been entered, you need to tell the customer that, look, this is what it is, and you need courage to do that, because the order has not been entered, because the way this burger kitchen ends, they actually take the order and then they prepare it. So you can actually scale down the order, but you need courage to tell the customer. So that's just the point I just wanted to come out, because at times in trying to adapt, it takes courage. So new product development.
I'm not getting something there.
Yeah.
I'm not getting something there. You're saying you need to tell the customer. What do you need to tell the customer?
You need to tell the customer that this order, this is the amount it is, because the order has not been entered, so that the customer can now make his final decision. Do you get it? His final decision, because the way Burger Kitchen operates is that when they make the order, that is when they, prepare and all that. They deal with fresh food here, freshly prepared food. You know what I'm saying? So the customer has made the order, but you know that the price is 6 euros, but the customer has informed you that he only has 1.2 euros. So that order, definitely you need to scale it down, because you as a student, you cannot be working at a loss. Is that clear? Hello?
It's clear. That's, I think, what I was trying to say, but in many words.
Yeah. Because the Burger Kitchen uses strict inventory control. Anything you take to give the customer will be charged to your paycheck. So since the customer has only 1.2 euros, then you just prepare what is 1.2 euros okay, because if not, another value that you'll be running foul of is transparency and honesty. And you can even lose your job as a student.
Yes, Adedayo, I appreciate this clarification. So I'm trying to connect the dot. Now, so in essence, for adaptation to happen, there has to be courage.
Yes.
Is that what you infer?
Yes.
So can you help me with how trust coming into adaptation? Thank you.
Okay. So trust is end. Do you know what I'm saying? Trust is end. So you as a worker, you need to be entrusted that you are making the right decisions. Do you know what I'm saying? Because if it goes ahead to tell the customer that is €6, and the customer has already informed him that is €1.2, that will bring about a break of trust. Is that understood? You are dealing with the customer here. And one of the things I said, one of the reasons for pursuing agility is that you want to improve relationship with the customer. You know what I'm saying? But in improving relationship with the customer, you need to regain trust. You need to earn trust from the customer. And how will you earn trust from the customer? Is when you have the courage to tell the customer, this is what the situation is. Trust from the customer, courage to inform the customer. Do you get that?
I understand. Thank you, everyone.
You understand. And that's why in a lot of products, when it comes to the issue of subscription, that's why you have various plans. You have standard plan, you have premium plan. All those plans, are they the same prices? Do you understand it now? Are they the same price? No. The standard plan, these are the features that you will have. Premium plan, these are the features that you have. So the customer already knows. That is transparency. And that we earn trust from the customer. For instance, in Nigeria, when we subscribe to Netflix, there are different plans. This plan is for Netflix, will tell you, is for just maybe 2 devices. This plan is for 4 devices, and they are not the same price. So the customer, Netflix already have the trust from the customer because they've made it transparent that these are the features that you can have. This is the amount, if you are going for this plan, this is the features that is available. If you are going for this plan, this is the features that is available. Because you are a business, you don't want to run at a loss. So you also need that courage to be able to inform and educate your customers properly. At the same time, earning the trust of the customer. Is this clear, guys? I don't know if, am I still making it more complicated?
I know it's clear on my part. Thank you.
Are you sure? Are you sure you're clear?
Yeah, sure I am. Thank you.
Maybe let me go back to okay. Many reasons to pursue agility: improve relationship with customers, regaining trust. You can see it's the first reason. Improving your relationship with customer. And that's where transparency also comes in. We'll see this more as we go along when we begin to talk about Scrum. So new product development resides in the complex domain. The best fit for complexity is the empirical process. The 3 legs of empiricism are inspection, adaptation, and transparency. Guys, if you understand this, then you understand what agility is all about. Inspection, adaptation, and transparency. Transparency requires trust and courage. Do we see that now? Transparency requires trust and courage. The moment you lose trust from customers, that product is gone. That's why you see some products they are no longer relevant. So inspection, adaptation, and transparency, very important in solving complex problems. So let's look at Scrum. Scrum is a lightweight framework that helps people, team, and organization generate value through adaptive solutions for complex problems. Scrum is a lightweight tool for enabling business agility. So Scrum is one of the implementations of agility. People always say something like Agile Scrum. There's nothing like Agile Scrum. Agile is a set of values and principles. Scrum is a lightweight framework. Why they call it a lightweight framework? Because of its flexibility. It just gives a guide on how you can organize your work. So that's why it's called a lightweight tool, and it enables business agility. So Scrum will make you to be agile. That's what we're talking about. This is not a Scrum class, so we may not be going too deep into Scrum, but we all know that Scrum was originated by Ken Schwaber and Jeff Sutherland. They came up with a Scrum guide, which they always update, and the last update was in November last year. So this is what Scrum is all about. So Scrum enables you to be agile. It enables business agility. It helps people, teams, and organizations to generate value through adaptive solutions for complex problems. So what makes Scrum Scrum? Anyone familiar with Scrum here? Hello, are we familiar with Scrum?
The name.
The name. Anybody else? Yeah, so when we talk about Scrum, we talk about artifacts and events. And artifacts refer to those things that are used in order to organize work. So for the product owner, there are different roles in Scrum. The product owner, we have the product owner, we have the developers, the team, and you have the Scrum Master. And we have events under Scrum. Like I said, this is not a Scrum class. I would have gone into details. But talking about artifacts and the events, we have the sprint planning, we have the daily Scrum, which is a daily meeting, a stand-up meeting. And we have the sprint review. We have the sprint review. The sprint review is like a demo where all the stakeholders come to inspect what has been done during the period of development, which is for a week or two, depending on how the team agrees to work. You can look up the Scrum Guide. You can just Google the Scrum Guide, the latest edition of Scrum Guide. Some of these things are in detail. So I actually wanted us to do this again on the Jamboard. So maybe I can help you guys out. Or does anyone familiar again with Scrum here? Can you tell me what are the other events?
I am.
Yeah?
Yeah, ask me what you want.
Okay. So what are the events other Scrum?
I have something on I have the chat.
What are the events other
here,
Scrum?
The events here, I'm not even seeing your screen.
Are you sure you can't see my screen?
Wait. Yeah, I'm seeing you. We can't see your screen.
Can you see my screen now?
Now I can see the roles, the product owner.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the daily Scrum, the sprint review.
Yeah. So here, what we have as events. It's just what creates a sticky note. You have not put any events.
I've put it. Can you say it?
Save the sprint retrospective. Yeah. This the daily scrum.
Yeah.
Sprint review.
Mm-hmm.
The retrospective.
Mm-hmm.
That's an event. Those are events we need to move forward with.
The sprint itself is an event on its own.
On it, no, but the sprint is the overall event.
Yes.
What we call the epic. We call it the epic.
No, it's not epical.
Is that epic?
No.
What do we call it?
Epic are large stories. The sprint is the period of development. You know. Then talking about artifacts, we have the sprint backlog. That is the work the developers have decided to do. You know, it's because of time I would have gone into details, but I don't want to go into details. But I just want to use this to now show how this is empirical at the end of the day. Then you also have the increments. That's at the end of the day. Increments, releasable, usable feature.
I think,
yeah.
For those of us who are interested, we don't have that hurry. Just give it to us nicely for those of us who are here and for those of us who are ready to
Okay, so this is what makes Scrum Scrum. Like we said before, Scrum is a lightweight framework for people and teams to adapt solutions in a complex environment. So in Scrum, you have roles in Scrum. You have the product owner. The product owner is the person that makes the final decision about the product features, which features are going to be built and ranking them and all that. So during the sprint planning, at the beginning of a sprint, the product owner and the developers, the development team, they meet to decide, okay, in this period of 1 week or 2 weeks, these are what we'll be doing. They have what you call the sprint goal. Okay, this week we want to, on the website, we want the search functionality to be achieved. So what are the things that we need to do? So that's what they will do during sprint planning. Then during the daily scrum, they come together, same place, same time, 15 minutes, to just talk about, and that's where they control their risk. Okay, what did I do yesterday? What am I going to do today? And what are the impediments? What are the things hindering me from doing my work? Then during the sprint review, at the end of the sprint, if they are doing a 1 week sprint, they can come maybe like a Friday to say, okay, the search functionality, is it working? Have we tested it? Is it all right? Then they can invite external stakeholders, users, or management to inspect. You see, that's where the inspection comes into it, and see whether that feature is properly working. If it's not working, then they can reorder what they call the product backlog. We'll see that very soon. Then they have the sprint retrospective to inspect how they have fared so far during the sprint to improve their process. Yeah. Is that clear now? Yeah. So let me go back to share.
You went off site.
Yeah. Okay, so can you see my screen now?
Good.
Yeah. So how is Scrum empirical? Remember, we're talking about the empirical approach to product management. How is Scrum empirical? Remember, we talked about inspection and adaptation. So how does all these events now make Scrum to be empirical? So again, let me go to the Jamboard, show you guys. Okay, so true. So can you see my screen? Hello, can you see my screen?
We are seeing it.
Okay, so how is Scrum empirical? During the sprint planning, what is the team trying to inspect? What they are trying to inspect is the product backlog. The product backlog is what we call a wish list or an emergent, we call it an emergent order list of all the products, all the features, the product we need for it to achieve the product goal. So during the sprint planning, the inspection is the product backlog. What is the adaptation? From here, they get the sprint goal, they do their focus, and they get the sprint backlog. Then during the daily scrum, they are trying to make progress towards the sprint goal. That's why they're asking, okay, what do we do yesterday? What are we doing today? What are we going to do? I mean, what work am I going to do today? And what is hindering me from doing my work? Then what do they adapt? Of course, what they adapt is, so do you understand? Do you understand what I'm trying to do here? Let me ask so that I know I'm not losing you guys. Hello?
Yeah, good, yeah, good.
Okay. So during the daily scrum, the inspection they're trying to do is how are we progressing towards the sprint goal? During the sprint review, the inspection is how are we been able to succeed? How have we been able to achieve the product goal? So for the sprint review, what will be adapted is the product backlog too, because at the end of the day, in case there are some adjustments that need to be done, that is what will be done. Then here, this one is the sprint. It's also the sprint backlog. Then also the work they will do in 24 hours work, because they are going to be saying, okay, this is what they are going to be doing. Then the sprint retrospective, the adaptation is actionable and committed improvement. What are they inspecting? Is their process. The sprint is what they are, and the process. Okay, so what do we guys feel? I'm trying to show how Scrum is empirical. If you read the Scrum guide, this will give you more, you'll say it gives you more idea about this. Any question or any observation? Hello? Can I move on? Okay. So there will be need for a mindset and behavioral shift for managers. Like we talk about the predictive management and the empirical management. Under the predictive management, log 10 details plan. For the empirical management, it will be goals, vision, and direction. Under the predictive management, you assign and control work. But under the empirical management, you foster the environment. You maximize capacity and effort when you're trying to be predictive, but you help remove impediments when you're trying to be empirical. You keep everything on schedule when you're trying to be predictive. You attend sprint review. You continue to review and all that. You are driven by meetings and reports. Under predictive, you share incremental feedback. You intervene to fix all problems. You manage for value. So there need to be a mindset and behavioral shift. So there is need, and this is where the problem is, for people to shift from this predictive management to empirical management. Any observation here before I move on? Can I push on? Hello, can you hear me, please?
Yes, Adedayo, you
okay,
can push.
all right.
Thank you.
Thank you. Just want to be sure. Okay, so looking at tools for product managers, we have all sorts of tools out there. Now, one thing with being agile is that there is no, we are not trying to force down any tool on anyone, but then you just need tools that will help you to manage your work and monitoring tasks and all that. And that's where you have all the scrum boards, like Trello, like Jira, and all that. Then another tool that we use again is the burn down chart to calculate the remaining work that needs to be done over time. So again, there are so many tools like Azure DevOps, there are computerized tools, but then a lot of people have been suggesting that some of these automated tools do not actually measure effectively work that is being done. So some people actually encourage that, these things should be done manually so that you can adequately evaluate the work that is being done. So in closing, I want us to close with this. Now, after meeting with the team, you have a talk with Derek who hired you. Derek is surprised about the temperature problem, as this has already been fixed with intelligent climate regulation devices in other rooms. Derek will take up with the facilities department. Derek now shares a concern from Judy and the team. Judy is particularly distressed because no new functionality, including online meeting and webinar functionality, has been released for 2 months. It seems only content like news and data get updated. Usage and revenues are declining. You find out that through Derek, there are about 4 product managers, with each one being responsible for a specific functional area of the portal. They are all vice presidents. Last year, they were incented on their areas revenue by 33, 18, 84, and 10%. It seems the product managers do push the team for getting stuff done, not taking no for an answer. Yet, little is released. What is your recommendation to fix this problem? Any thoughts on this? As we close, you can also ask questions. This is about the last slide. Hello, guys. It's like people have been quiet. I've not been hearing any other person. So my own advice for this problem is they could use Scrum, since it looks as if little is being done. They can use Scrum for them to organize their work in sprints, maybe 1 week sprint or 2 week sprint, so that they can have a sprint goal and say, okay, for this particular sprint, maybe a 2-week sprint, the online meeting or webinar functionality, we are going to make sure is fixed in this sprint. Then the entire team is focused on it. Then since they have 4 product managers, it's good they have 1 product owner. You know, they need to appoint a product owner that will be responsible in organizing the different features that will make sure that a particular functionality is released. So this will be my own suggestion for them to fix this problem. So I don't know if we have questions or thanks for listening. I hope the class has been full of value. And I know of principles of development. These are some fundamentals that need to be understood. Adaption and transparency. As we inspect, in other words, as we learn, as we observe, we are now able to adapt and we are able to respond, and there will be continuous learning and continuous improvement. And we can have products that will continue to be relevant. You know, we can release functionality to those products. That's the difference between product management and project management. Project management is temporary. You know, there is a closing time for it and the project, and that's all. But for products, a product needs to continuously be improved upon. And it's the empirical approach of inspection and adaptation that can help us to continue to build products the right way. I'll give an example to just close this. You can see that YouTube now has a functionality, if you are watching YouTube on your phone, where if you have a smart TV, you can view it by a click of a button. You can now view it on your smart TV. You know, that's an improvement, and that has improved the customer experience. You know, so that's what we are talking about. The WhatsApp we are using now is different from the WhatsApp 5 years ago. You know, there are a lot of improvements on WhatsApp now. There are a lot of improvements on a lot of product out there, and it's because they are being agile. It's because they are using the empirical approach to solve complex problems. As the environment changes, as customer needs and wants changes, and the demands are changing, then we need to respond and adapt. Thank you very much. I hope this has been.
Hello, Dayo.
Yeah.
Thank you for this presentation. It seems to give me a refresher again on my earlier big knowledge of Scrum. Actually, I'm trying to look at the last word, the empirical approach. We talk about inspection, adaptation, and then transparency. It looks like transparency is mainly on the customer side. You want to give the customer things that give them options.
Yes.
I'm trying to give them flexibility, give them usability, give them interactivity. And in achieving such terminology around transparency, you need to earn trust and you need to be courageous to get there. I don't know if that is in line with what you are trying to present to state. Thank you so much.
Yeah, that's in fact, you are just giving a very good summary of the entire presentation. So that's what is it about. And you just need to look at, you know, organizations and products out there that are really succeeding and find out, you know, and find out why they are succeeding. Why is it that, I mean, look at Facebook. The Facebook of 2009 is not the Facebook of now. So many functionalities, you know, so many things are the same product, so it's the same product, but they keep on improving it and improving it and improving it. So that's what we are talking about. And there are any customers trust, there are any users trust. I mean, you look at Google, you know, like the application I've used in this presentation, the Google Jamboard, you know, I mean, that is a great product that has enabled us to, you know, to be able to improve our learning. So that's what it's about. Yeah. Thank you very much. Any other question or observation?
Thank you, Darren.
Yeah.
Okay, any other question, please, for Adedayo?
Is there a question? So if there is none, I guess I'm good. If there are questions or observations or any feedback, I'm open to any feedback. Yeah. Thank you. Okay.
All right, thank you very much, Adedayo. This was a very interesting session and a very educative session as well. Thank you for taking out the time and very engaging, I must say as well. I believe that it's, like I mentioned earlier, just to give an introduction to what will be happening in the product school. So Adedayo also have time to answer questions or, you know, more understanding about the building products in an agile way. And I think that also helps us to know exactly how to deliver this product in the best way that as possible. So thank you very much for your session. I put a poll up. Please kindly fill the poll. And just a recap on what I mentioned about the product school. We have the beginners class and also have the advanced class. Whichever one you be willing to join, kindly join the school. I'm going to put the link below. Kindly, so when you join, you get to have more knowledge about the product school. And if you still need more questions, kindly send a message to productschool@printify.co as well. And then we'll be sending the slide to everyone. So in case you need to go over, and also the recordings, we'll be sharing it to everyone in case you need to go over what has been taught as well. And so you have more information about this and more knowledge about the class. Thank you very much. And then we'll see you all. We still have another masterclass next week, Saturday. And so if you kindly join us again for the class. All right. Thank you everyone for the time, and have a great day. Bye everyone.
Bye. Thank you very much.